Hi everyone, Eileen here. Okay, this is my second Lavinia Stamps video tutorial for you, from me to you this weekend. And I'm featuring today moments like these. Isn't that a lovely stamp? Now you'll see two toppers here. This one is Distress Inks, and I will give you the colours for these. And this one is Oxides, and I'm going to do the Oxides one mainly because it will make a change from doing Distress Inks, and it offers you a choice. So the techniques are exactly the same but different colours. This one uses Tattered Rose in the middle and Victorian Velvet all round the outside, and then it uses Archival ink to stamp and VersaFine Claire Nocturne. This one uses the same colour Archival, so more about that later, to stamp, and it uses different colours of course in the Oxides, and I'll show you this now, so then you can pay your money and take your choice. Let's get going. A piece of multifarious cardstock, white, this one, in super smooth 330 GSM, and I've cut it to 13.5 centimetres in length by 8.5 centimetres in width. Starting off with Tattered Rose in the Distress Oxides and my Distress Oxide brushes, and I think I'll just check to see which one it is. No, it's this one. So I'm just going to go in a circular motion. Keep your fingers away from your cardstock unless you protect from your natural oils in your fingers whilst you're blending using a piece of copy paper, which I'll be doing that in a minute. So just doing the middle, look, circular motion, not pressing too heavily, up and down, not being too careful, just to give it a base. So that's Tattered Rose. Then I'm going to use old paper, which has got a greenish hue to it, and I just love this. So second brush, and now I am going to use a piece of paper folded to protect my fingerprints, but keep this edge away from the area you're working on. But if you get a line, it's very difficult to get rid of. So working off the card and then blending it across the card into the Tattered Rose, allowing the middle to stay Tattered Rose rather than a blend of the two, so that you've got a distinct colour there. And it's a bit blotchy in the sense that you've got white areas. Yep, that's right, I'm releasing the pressure on the brush so that some areas are darker than others, and that gives me that lovely shaded background that has got, looks like a bit of texture because it's not one total solid colour. Highlights and lowlights, that's the word. So a bit more in. Quite quick to blend with these Oxides, aren't they? I love them. And again, working off the card, keeping this well away from the area I'm working in, but holding it firmly. Like so. A bit more. Then I'm changing colour but not brushes, and this is Bundled Sage, and this will give it an even greener tone around the border. Coming in a little to blend with the old paper. Again. Hear my table squeaking. It's got quite a nice bordered area. That's because I'm putting a lot of pressure on this. It's squeaking away, protesting. I think I'll have to release the pressure a little. Going back to old paper, same brush, just to smooth out these edges here and get the bundled sage blended in. Bent my cardstock there, be careful of that. So it's a lighter one, like so. That will do me. She says, as she does a little bit more, because it wasn't quite right in that corner, but that will soak in. Oh, I bent my card there, be careful of that. Now, going back to the tattered rose again, and I'm using the tattered rose brush, of course, which is this one. Hold that away, and then I'm just going to just improve and give a little bit more of an identity to that middle area, to that middle tattered rose area. Not quite liking that. So move all those out of the way and on to the next. This I'm going to keep because I just love these sort of abstract looks. So any blends that I do, I put these away and use them in as background. You can add to them, stencil over them, and you've got a ready-made card. So for now, I'm going to pop that there, but I'm not going to bin that. Okay, I think I'll go down this way on that. Next is adding the fairy, the main image. Because I need now to know where she's going to be so that I can do the rest of my design around her. Pop that up there. There she is. And as I've said, this is called Moments Like These. About ½ inch up from the bottom. You're going to see a reflection of my lamp now when I, in the Misty, I'm afraid. Won't be too long though. Move that over a bit more. First Fine Clair Nocturne. Gentle tapping. Just check you were looking and seeing this okay. Yes, you are. I think that she's totally covered. This is a re-inked pad, so it's wet, which is good. Nice and inky does it. Over we go. Down. Push. Yes, I'm sorry about the lamp. It will go now as soon as I've finished with this Misty. Right, that's it. Up. That's nice. And then a little blast with a heat gun so that the ink will dry, because I'm going to stencil and I don't want to risk all the smudging. Do me. Move my Misty out of the way, clean the stamp off later. And next I'm using a Sweet Poppy stencil backplate, and this is obviously stars, and the image itself, the plate itself, was designed by Tracy Dutton of Lavinia Stamps, so no problem there, staying in the family. And just going to lay this down, and I'm using a makeup brush, an archival ink in Rose Madder. So this will give me a very gentle pink. Don't want to put too much on and make it too solid. So I've seen the image here, and actually I want it to be straightish. So I'm going to concentrate on, very lightly now, coming down the left hand side with the stars, very lightly, and then coming down a little on the right, but then missing quite a gap in the middle, and then just following up by having a few along the bottom and in the right hand corner, like so. Don't want to overdo this if you make it too busy, but if you're gentle on the wrist action, it should be sort of faded into the background. Okay, then there's more stars now with this one, and this is called Star Cluster. It's obviously a Lavinia stamp, and for this I'm using Warm Breeze, gentle tapping. And there is a gap here, so you look at the stars, you've got quite a cluster of them there, and then there's a bit of a gap. So I'm just going to choose that gap to be over here on the right hand side. So down, pressing up. Now some of the stars will be across her body, so hold on a moment for that ink to dry. So I'm going to tidy up. And then that should be long enough. And then I'm getting a black pen, and I'm very carefully just going to go over her body at the bottom and just put black over those stars that are across the opaque black area of her body, so that they sink, her body comes forward and the stars, you can't see them, there's now sinking into the background. Be careful, don't press too heavily, because you don't want pencil marks. You just want to get rid of those images of the stars and make her body look opaque again. Total silhouette. That's good. I'm happy with that. Whilst I've got the black pen, I'm just going to put very lightly again, hold your crayon right, if you're using wooden crayons, right at the edge, so that you get a gentle line and a gentle look. Too far up, you'll get the pencil marks. So just at the edge, very lightly, so that the lead of the pencil is skimming across the surface. And then just giving her some shadow here to ground her, like so. I'm not going to overdo that. And if it's too dark, just take an eraser and just take a little bit back out. So that looks okay to me. Next, it's sticking with the VersaFine Clair again. Or no, actually I didn't. I used the pink. No, I'm going to go VersaFine Clair. I like that. So I'm now looking for the script stamp, which is here, which is called Fairy Spells, I believe. Let's check that. Where's my list? I believe this is called Fairy Spells. There it is. Yeah, fairy spells, and it is such, there's a few words here: celestial, delight, mystical, magical, enchanted, and they're all different fonts, and they're really lovely. So, second generation ink, warm breeze. And then up the top here, no, not going right to the top, actually I want to put the honeysuckle there. So coming down a bit, about halfway down the card, pop in a few of the words. Right, so the bottom of the card now is full of text or from the words, and I think that looks rather lovely. Now I'm going for the honeysuckle, and the honeysuckle will be stamped in archival rose madder to match the stars from the stencil, but it won't be so noticeable or in your face. Be just subtle in the background. So popping that down there. It's one, first generation, because it's quite a gentle shade of pink. Like so. Another one here, but not as much. And then we'll have another one here, second generation, like so. Right, nearly there now. The next thing to do is to add a little jelly roll. I think this is called Starlight, not sure. Anyway, it's a jelly roll pen and a Sakura pen. It hasn't got a name on it, but you'll find all these. There's a sort of sparkly pen on the Lavinia website. And I just want to add a bit of sparkle to these stars here, and the dots, tiny little dots. Not going to do them all, but it just flings them out and adds a little bit of sparkle without adding glue or glitter. But you can do that if you want, of course. It's so pretty. I'll hold it up to the camera in a moment so you can see it. And it just finishes off that star cluster stamp from Lavinia. Yes, that's nice. I'm liking that. Right. Let's pop it up so you can see it anyway, I think. Can you see it? Just nice, isn't it? Okay. Right. Now I've noticed too that I've gone over her foot or leg again, and you can see the stamp script through it. So I'm just going to take that out again with the black pen and make her leg and foot totally opaque again. Smooth it off with your finger. Right, now one of the cards, I mean, I did splash some snow about on that, but honestly I quite like this one as it is, so I think that I will leave it there. I'm just going to get a nice piece of card to display my finished card onto. White will do. So that's what I've just done. This pink one I will show you and give you the colours that I did earlier. I don't think that I've forgotten anything. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't. I've really enjoyed that. It was fun. Right, Tattered Rose Victorian Velvet for these. I'm not sure if I gave you the colours, but if I didn't, Tattered Rose in the middle, Victorian Velvet around the outside, and then the archival Rose Madder for the stamping, and then black Nocturne for the other stamping. Other than that, it's exactly the same. And I also use this pen on the stars here for the pink one. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for looking today. I would mount that up like so that just finishes it off. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday and the weekend, and have a good week next week. Stay safe, you all. Bye for now.